Welcome to the French Wedding Podcast with your host Naïm, the only podcast in English about weddings in France. Great conversations, tips and insights about your French wedding, some wisdom before your big day, and the opportunity to hear wedding professionals actually living and working in France, only for your day to be the most amazing to remember.
Hello everyone and welcome to the French Wedding Podcast. Greetings from France. This is the place where we're recording this show. I'm Naïm, professional ceremony officiant based in my hometown, Paris, and I created this show especially for future brides and grooms willing to get married in Paris or anywhere in France. Each episode is an occasion to meet a main actor of the industry, can be a vendor such as a wedding planner, hair and makeup artists, bridal salon, videographer, venue owner, bloggers, you name it. This show exists to bring you some insight about how people do things in France regarding the wedding industry, but we also share funny stories, things to know, and special memories when we happen to work together on the very same wedding. She knows what's best and she's often right. That's how I felt after this truly interesting discussion that I had with Laura, my guest today. We talked about Paris, TV production, fine art photography, and what it means or doesn't mean anymore. I truly learned a lot. So please welcome Laura Zorman, wedding photographer in Paris, on the French Wedding Podcast. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited.
She is excited, guys. I had a conversation with her right before we started, and she is full of sun. Even if it's today in Paris, it's a bit rainy. Tell me a bit more about you, Laura.
Okay, so the story is I used to work in TV production when I did a movie school when I was 18. I graduated and then I did a movie school. And my dream was actually to become a movie director. And then I was like, it's just too hard. I don't think I want to do that. It's just too hard. It's too complicated. And then I switched and I told myself that I would be a really great assistant director. And I actually did that. I did that for a few years. I did some internships on movies and TV shows, and it was a lot of fun. And then I switched again and I did production. So production is basically when you organize sets and shootings of the movies and of the shows. And it was actually really great. I had a lot of fun for like 5 years. And then all of a sudden, I decided to change. Actually, it's not really all of a sudden. The TV industry is kind of a shitty industry. I mean, I don't work in the industry.
Disclaimer.
Anymore, so, yeah.
I didn't say it, guys. She said it.
I don't work in the TV industry and I will never work on it again. So I'm not scared to say it's a shitty industry. There are a lot of shitty people and I don't care to say it. And that was also a problem, is that I'm very honest and I'm not afraid to say, like, you're an asshole. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to work for you anymore. And it was kind of a problem because, you know, I did it as I said it as I saw it. And I was kind of like fed up of all the hypocrisy and everything. And I was like, I want to be my own boss, you know? And I always did photography. I've done it since I was like 7 years old. My dad bought me my first camera and, you know, I was like, let's do it. You know, let's try to be my own boss. And I've been doing it for 3 years and it's so much fun and I love it. And it's very artistic. And as I said, I wanted to be a director, and, you know, being a photographer, it's kind of like being a director as well. You know, you kind of like direct sets and you have a model and you have the whole crew counting on you. And it's just a lot of fun. And I like to kind of be a leader. And I think that's what you are when you're a photographer. And I love it. And now I don't think I'm going to change again. I think I'll stay a photographer my whole life, but you know, you never know. I like to switch it up. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
How would you describe your style? You say you're often a leader when you're a photographer. What's behind that?
Well, the thing is, often when I meet, you know, brides and grooms or couples, they're very much like, oh, I'm not comfortable in front of the camera and things like that, you know. And I love to like just relax like put them in this relaxed atmosphere. And I'm very much like I think I'm kind of a funny person. I'm not like throwing flowers at me, like, oh, I'm so funny. It's not that. It's just I'm very I'm very relaxed, and I'm like, you know what? Do whatever you want and just be relaxed, and I make them laugh, and I kind of direct them a little bit, and I'm like, just be yourself and laugh and everything. And so I lead them in the right way, but I'm not a leader in a way that I'm like, okay, I want you to do that. It's not that. It's
Right.
just I lead them in a way that I want them to be comfortable and have fun, and I'm a very spontaneous person, and I also feel like it's very important that my pictures also have this like spontaneous feeling to them. It's very important. I like them to just laugh and be themselves. And I often say to the groom, act like you just said a really funny joke to your bride and just laugh, and they feel stupid doing it, but then afterwards they just laugh for real. Like, that's so ridiculous. They're like, oh my God, it's so funny. I know. And, I just, and then you look at the picture.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. Fake it till you make it. That's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I just, yeah.
So that was 3 years ago that you started this.
That was 3
already.
years ago. Yeah. I know, Tam. I mean, I'm 30 now. I'm turning 31 soon, and I can't believe it. I was 27 when I decided to like kind of change my life. And at first it was like really scary, and now I'm just really happy I did it. Yeah.
And what was your first memory as a photographer? It was in a wedding, in an elopement, because I've seen that you're doing a lot of packages.
Yeah, I do. So my sister is a wedding planner, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, she's also kind of changing directions, kind of changing path, because that's how we are in a family. We like to switch things up.
Yeah, I feel there is a lot of energy in there.
A lot of energy, and she was a wedding planner for 8 years, actually, so a really long time. Mm-hmm. And she told me that she would agree to take me on elopements for my first experiences as a photographer. And let me tell you, it wasn't a good experience. I wasn't comfortable with the camera, and I kind of winged it. I was like, okay, I'm going to take my camera and I'll see how it goes. But it just wasn't a good idea. You have to learn it. You have to learn to be a photographer. You can't just take a camera and be like, okay, I'm going to wing it. No, you have to learn the manual and how it works and everything. And it wasn't a good experience. But thank God I grew out of it. And after a year, I'm lying, actually. After a year and a half, 2 years, my sister finally told me, oh, you're ready. I'm going to put you on this huge wedding. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like so nervous. And I had prior to that worked with different wedding planners and different people. But this was my first really big wedding. It was in a beautiful hôtel particulier in Paris. And there was a lot of money involved, and it was a very luxurious wedding. And after that, I just finally thought to myself, okay, I'm kind of ready to expand my brand. Yeah, I wanted to propose my services to a really luxurious clientele. But honestly, what I like is just, I like to work with everybody. What I like the most when I'm a photographer is working with people, with different types of people. And I'm not discriminating in any way. I just work with everybody. If I have a good feeling with you, it's just the most important thing to me.
Take me through the journey, like a bride or a future bride or a future groom or a couple, they're contacting you by email, I guess?
Yes, a lot of it happens on Instagram, actually. I'm very, very active on Instagram. Well, not so much right now because of COVID. Thank you so much. It's harder to be active with COVID when you don't shoot anything. It's really hard. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm very active on it, and 80% of my clientele comes from Instagram, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's big. And I photograph so many people from all over the world. I'm very, very proud of to say that I work with literally everybody, Australian, Turkish people, England. I work with a lot of Americans. also.
Okay.
A lot of them Canadian, South America, just all over the world. And what they do is that they usually contact me after seeing my pictures on Instagram, of course, and they ask me, what if I have a packages and everything. And usually I have like 3 packages. I have proposal packages because men love to propose in Paris. So I actually love organizing proposals. It's my thing. I actually cry whenever I see that the future bride is very like, she's surprised. It actually makes me cry. I'm crying behind the camera, literally. And I love doing this. It's one of my favorite things to do, really. And every time I go to the future bride, I go to her. I'm like, you really didn't know? And she's like, I mean, I kind of knew.
I was picturing.
Yes. But yeah, so usually I have the proposal packages, and then I have the 2 hours packages, and then the 1 hour. Those 3 are the ones that work the best.
So they're contacting you. They're asking you if you're available.
They do, yeah. They ask me if I'm available, and then we book a date. Usually, it's when they're from like Canada or United States or whatever. It's usually pretty late in the future, so they're like, "Okay, I'll be here in 6 months," But I don't care. I block it. I just if it's in a year, I block it too. And of course, I ask for a deposit of like 50% of the sum to block the date, because I cannot block it if I don't have like something that proves me it's going to happen. I have to have a deposit, and otherwise it's a lost date for me. And actually, I had a lot of this during COVID. A lot of people came to me and they're like, okay, what do I do? I mean, I can't come to France right now. And I had like 4 people come up to me and be like, can I get my money back? And I'm like, okay, I can give you 2 options. Either I can give you your money back. That is not a problem. Of course. I mean, it's like crazy circumstances right now. I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm keeping your money. So either that, or I can give you a voucher, and the voucher is available indefinitely. So if you come in a year or 2 years, it will still be available. And I actually, like 4 people on the 5 people, they told me, okay, let's do a voucher. So
I had exactly the same system. I think it works out best.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's, people are really nice because they actually told me, like, you're a little vendor, and I know that's what you do for a living, and it's all you do for a living. I don't have a side job personally, unfortunately, but they're very respectful to that. They're like, I respect your job, and I know that right now the tourists, everything, it's just going crazy right now, and nothing is happening. So it's really nice of them to think of us that way.
So what plans do you have in the future? What projects are you excited about?
Oh, I'm very excited about 2 of them, actually. I shot my first inspirational shoot a month ago. Yeah. And I actually finished working on it like a half hour ago. So, yes.
Do the math. Okay, got it.
It took me a whole month to work on it. I'm still.
Where did you shoot?
We shot at Hôtel Marois.
Okay, I don't know it.
It's an hotel particulier in the center of Paris, near the Champs-Élysées. Okay. And it's kind of like a mini Versailles. Really, it's gorgeous.
Great name.
It's so beautiful. And I did my first editorial shoot there, and I'm very, very happy, very excited, very stressed, very anxious, because I'm never satisfied with the shoot I do. So I look at it and I'm like, I guess it's okay, okay. Yeah. So I still think it's good, but I thought I shot it to some people and they're like, what are you talking about? It's amazing. But I can't, as a photographer, be like, oh yeah, I'm so good, it's great. I'm just not objective that way. So, but I'm also very stressed because I'm going to try to send it to blogs. And that's what makes me nervous too, the rejection, and
of course.
it really scares me. And I have another one actually that I'm preparing to shoot right now for September 9th. It's gonna be in a really fancy hotel, also in the heart of Paris. I can't say the name yet, but
exclusive information.
Yes. And I'm working with this amazing team. We're gonna be like 15 people. It's by far the biggest shoot I've ever done. So I'm also very, very excited about that, and I hope that it will turn out good.
Good. Seems like you have your experience in production helps you to calm down a little bit.
100%. It is. I mean, I always say that it helps me organize the whole shoot. And actually, the wedding planner that I'm working on right now, she said, I've never seen a photographer so hands-on on everything. And I told her, I said, I hope I'm not annoying. Honestly, I hope I'm not annoying. She's like, no, on the contrary. It's like helping me so much because she's like, I'm not by myself, when it comes to organizing a shoot, it's a huge thing, you have so many shit to deal with. I'm sorry, I'm cursing. Stuff to deal with.
You're French, you have the right.
Thank you so much. And it definitely helps me a lot for sure. Yeah.
Great. And you started photography through your dad. Is that what you said?
Yeah, because my dad used to be a reporter, and he was actually the youngest reporter in France. He was 17 when he did his first cover.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, yeah. He traveled internationally and everything. And he did this for 4 years. And then after that, he changed. Just as like we always do in my family, we change our work.
Mm-hmm.
And and when I was 7, I asked for my personal camera, and then I started experiencing stuff. And I mean, I've been shooting for 24 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long experience.
That's a long experience, but honestly, I mean, as I said, my first elopement was 3 years ago, and I was completely lost. So, I mean, I think I was just doing stuff, for fun, and I wasn't really taking it seriously. And I never took the time to really learn how the camera worked, But,
You're talking about all the technical aspects of the...
Exactly.
Right.
And it's so important because if you want to evaluate, you got to know how the technical aspect works. And I mean, just to tell you how everything changed, last September I actually was at this Salon du Mariage, this kind of like wedding exhibition in September at the Hotel Lutetia in Paris. And it was the first time that I would meet finally famous quote unquote wedding vendors. And I met this guy, Atelier Presse-Burger. He's this guy that does, oh God, my English, I'm so sorry, invitations and, oh God. Anyway, he does logos and everything for like companies and stuff. And he did mine because I said I want to change how people view my my company. And he said, okay, you know what? The base of it is really the logo. So I changed the logo. Yeah. And after that, it's true. I changed the logo and I changed the name of our company. And all of a sudden, the image that people had of my company changed. There was a little switch. And after that, I did a workshop with this really great photographer. Shout out to Jérémy Froliger. Yeah. I
don't know him personally, but we've been talking through DMs.
Yeah, well, he's absolutely amazing, and I love him.
Great guy.
He's a great guy, absolutely adorable. And I did my workshop right after I changed my logo, and it was back in January, so right before COVID. And I learned so much through him, and he does exclusively fine art photography. So
can you describe for the audience, for people who don't know what's fine art?
It's very hard.
I don't know. I know it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be hard. So that's why I prefer you to do it.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm gonna do well.
I'm not a pro.
Yeah, I mean, fine art photography is definitely I mean, fine art photography used to be a way to describe photographers that would only shoot on film. That
All
was
right.
that was the old definition. Now
Mm-hmm.
it kind of changed, and it's changing with its time because a lot of photographers that shoot fine art only shoot on digital cameras, like me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I only shoot digital because unfortunately shooting on film is extremely difficult, and it's also really
Yes.
expensive. So yeah. So fine art
And time
photography,
consuming.
oh, 100%. So fine art photography is definitely, it's, it's very light. All
Mm-hmm.
it's very light and it's very airy. That's how I
Okay.
describe it. Light and airy. And the colors are very pastel colors, I guess.
Yes, that
And
works.
yes, and it's mostly for, I would say, a very luxurious clientele as well. That's how we describe
Okay.
it. So those are the main words. I would say luxe, pastel, light, and airy photography.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look at Instagram and you look at hashtag fine art wedding photographer, you will definitely find the definition of it and understand it more because it's very hard to describe it, a style of image with words,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I did this workshop with Jeremy, and he helped me a lot because, of course, he's an excellent photographer and he focuses on the details, and that's what I was missing, I think, on the way I photograph things. The detail is very important. Details of the flowers, details of the bouquet, details of the dress, and of course of the jewelry. Everything is extremely important, and he taught me that. And after that, I thought to myself, it is time to really evaluate how I work. And the shoot that I did actually a month ago at Hotel Marois, and I hope it's going to be published, is a definition of what I learned with Jeremy and what I've been working at, which is the evolution of the way I photograph.
Because this fine art thing is looks like, just going back to it, it looks
Sure.
like a thing. Like, you're not the first person to talk to me about this,
Yes.
and seems like a lot of people want to include it in their wedding day.
Yes, because I feel like fine art photography is definitely becoming like a marketing thing. I might get a
Okay.
little hate saying that, but it's true. I feel like today fine art is definitely a marketing thing. Like people, when they want to get married, they often tell me, "Are you fine art?" Even though they don't really know what it means. They're going to
Okay.
ask me that. And I'm not fine arts. I'm not, and
All right.
I'm not sure I ever will be. Even though, I mean, the thing is, as I said, for me, fine art is truly, it's truly photographing on film. That's for me. It's if you want to be 100% fine art, you got to be on film. So right now, I'm not shooting on film. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm not fine art. But I definitely try to include um, the light and airy side of the fine art thing in my pictures because that's my style. But I don't put it on. I don't use it because it's fine art. I use it because it's my style. That's how I am. I
Right.
love lighty and airy pictures. It's just I love it. It's my thing. And so I use the hashtag fine art, but I don't know if I am. I say that I'm not. Maybe it's very objective. If someone looks at my picture,
Yeah.
maybe he or she be like, "Oh, it's so fine art." Okay, well, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Especially in
yeah,
this world today, everybody have an opinion.
exactly. And
If you say something, you just end up being screenshot and put on Twitter,
oh
and
yeah,
people would just be
absolutely.
like, "He's not right."
Yes, yes, yes.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? It's my opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. And if you think you're fine art, well, great. I mean, who am I to not say you are? But honestly, what I love also is fashion photography. This is my thing. I love Patrick Desmarchelier. He's one of my favorite photographers. Pinter Lindbergh, all of those really famous photographers from the 90s. That's what I like also. And I also tried to include it in the editorial that I actually did a month ago, as I said. And so for me, I like to mix it up. I like to say I'm a fine art / fashion / wedding photographer. That's what I like to say. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And talking about your experience in photography, you were talking about these 2 photographs right before.
Yeah.
Do you consult other people's work, and do you think that it inspires you in a way?
Oh, 100%. Like I have a Pinterest with boards filled with pictures, and I have so many photographers that I admire. Fashion, wedding, editorial, just everything. And I mean, for me, it's very, very important to say that. I mean, it's very hard to create a picture based from zero. I mean, of course, you're going to be influenced by everybody. If you watch a show, like, for example, if you watch Stranger Things, it's one of my favorite shows. I love the 80s. It's my thing,
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those people were inspired by Steven Spielberg and, all of those big names, and you cannot, and it's one of the most amazing show ever. And I don't think it's bad to say that, you're going to take an idea from this photographer and you're going to take this idea from this photographer and then you're going to create your own thing. I'm definitely open to say that I get inspiration from everybody, of course. Like, it's so important to be honest, and be like, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It seems like you're very honest about your work, and what you're doing is very modest, in a way.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I will. Yeah. Maybe I'm too modest.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
And I don't know. On the other hand, I think it's needed today, especially when you see everybody through Instagram filters and Snapchat filters and fine art. Also, let's talk about fine art, guys.
I'm gonna tell you something that I always say. We're in the wedding industry. Like, calm down a notch. You're not saving the world. Okay, you're not a doctor. You're not a nurse. Okay, what I mean?
Go back to earth. Get off your high horse.
Exactly. Like, calm down, baby. Okay. Yeah. So you're not saving life. All right. Yeah. And I mean, we're not gonna name any names, but we know people that are like up on their high horse, as you said, but that's gonna be this way in any industry. Let's not forget, it's $1 billion industry. Of course, there are going to be people with like a huge head, obviously, but it just makes me laugh. Like, honestly, I don't care. Too. Yeah, and it doesn't affect me, so whatever.
Sounds very good. Yeah, I really liked your character. I heard a few months ago. I heard a podcast that I'm a big fan of, and they were talking about the authenticity kills competition, and I think it applies to you. You're very authentic.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Your spontaneity and everything, I really like it. So, talking about your business again, is there something that you want to offer to the audience today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in this time, we need to have fun, guys. So I'm offering you the first 30 minutes of a shoot wherever you want in Paris. And, let's meet up. Let's take some great pictures and let's have fun. So there you go.
Sounds like an amazing plan. And where can people find you online?
They can find me on Instagram, Laura Zorman Photography, all attached, photography with a Y at the end. And they can contact me and DM me and say that they heard the interview on the French Wedding Podcast. And we can definitely work something out.
Sounds pretty good, Laura. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you. It was awesome.
And I'm sure I will get you somewhere in Paris to talk about fine art photography.
Oh, yeah. My favorite subject.
Or maybe not. Thanks again, Laura.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks again for listening to the show today. You can find more information on our guests in the show notes, as well as my contact and my website. If you have any questions regarding your French wedding, I'm happy to help. Also, please do not hesitate to leave a review for the show. There's also a link for that. That will literally take 1 minute of your precious time and will mean the world to me. I always appreciate your support. Thank you again very much for your time and feedback. Wishing you a great day or a great night anywhere you are in the world. I send you some good vibrations and we'll talk to you again soon for a new episode. Bye bye.